Welcome back. We got one CBS News. Is it worth it for college grads to pursue a master's degree? Uh, Obviously, but let's see what they're saying.
Graduation season is here, but many young Americans are planning to go right back to campus.
That's right. Do not pass go. More than 3 million adults are expected to enroll in a graduate program this year. That is according to the National Center for Education Statistics. But some experts say the pros of getting a master's degree do not outweigh the cons. James Murphy joins us now. He's a senior policy analyst at Education Reform Now. James, great to have you with us. You wrote an article in Business Insider that calls a master's degree the biggest scam in higher education. Those are fighting words there, James. Explain what you mean by that.
Well, lots of college students hear this line all the time now that a master's is the new bachelor's degree. And there's certainly some truth to that. As you just mentioned, 3 million people are now enrolled in master's degree programs. The number of master's degrees that have been awarded has almost doubled since 2020. And the reason people go makes sense. They go to get a good job and make more money, right? This is, you might go to college and get an undergrad degree to become more enlightened and, a well-rounded person. But master's degrees tend to be very sort of practical. You go to make more money, you go to get a better job. And that's...
You know why they're going for a master's degree to get a better job, to make more money? It's because bachelor's degree don't make any money anymore. There's no jobs anymore. But guess what? All the master's degree jobs going to get taken too. And then all the doctorate jobs going to be taken too. It don't matter what degree you go for, your job's gonna get took. If a job that you can go to college for will get took. The jobs that won't get took are blue collar jobs that you don't go to college for. You go to trade school for. And then when all the white collar jobs are taken, everyone's gonna do blue collar, so it's gonna be oversaturated. So it's not worth even trying. You know it's worth it? Trying to build yourself a business, pay yourself. Work for yourself, pay yourself, and get out.
True in many fields. That's true in engineering. That's true in nursing programs. So a lot of like STEM kind of sciencey degrees actually do have that payoff. But there's new research showing that around 40% of master's programs have no positive return. Meaning, if you take in the cost of attending and the time spent not working, essentially what you get out of that master's degree doesn't even pay for itself. There are many programs that actually have a negative return on investment, meaning you may end up making less money by getting this degree. So that's pretty bad, but it actually gets worse. And this is where the scam level really comes in. So around 60% of students who get master's degrees will take out loans to do so. They borrow twice as much as people do for undergrad. And so they end up getting a job that does not pay that much, and they're saddled with all this debt. And the reason they can do this is because the federal government lets them do that. Mm-hmm. So the federal government places almost no caps on how much you can borrow, which is...
They came in years back and said, oh, we're going to make all government loans all accepted. We're going to make it automatically accepted, all approved, guaranteed government loans for college. And guess what the colleges did? Oh, the government is making loans guaranteed. The government always gets their money back. Boom, prices went up. Skyrocketed. Come on now.
Different for undergrads. You can borrow in the neighborhood of about $30,000. So you might get a degree that costs you $70,000. You've now got $70,000 in debt for a job that earns you about $50,000. Who's really benefiting from this? It's the universities, who are seeing this giant pile of money out there and grabbing it. In the past decade, around, I think it's 9,000 new master's degree programs have been created. Now, have 9,000 new fields been created? 9,000 new careers been created?
Nope.
No. This is essentially...
You know why? They're going to school for feminology. They're going to school to study stupid stuff, like why you feel the way you feel. They're going to school for art, for business, for what, bro? You can start a business at your house. You can do art at your house. What do you need a degree for? You know what I'm saying?
Universities seeing the money that's out there and getting it.
Mr. James Murphy, you were very convincing.
Getting degrees to study animal cock.
So what would your advice be then to a wayward 22 or 32 or 42-year-old, doesn't like their current job, is thinking about making a change, considering a master's degree as the next step?
Yeah, and that's a great question, because the reality is that, like I said, people are going to get master's degrees to make more money. And who does this more often than not? It's more often women than men. And it's more often people of color than white people, because they're trying to overcome a wage gap. So what's my advice? I think the first thing you want to ask yourself is why you're going to get a master's degree.
There's no wage gap for race, sex, nothing. There's no wage gap. I'm sorry that your parents had you in a situation that they messed up. You know what I'm saying? It's more so systemic. Your parents caused that issue, not the society. It's not a societal wage gap. You know what I'm saying? I'm broke and I'm mixed. I'm black and white. So what is it because I'm half black that I'm broke? No, it's not. You know what I'm saying? I'm a 20-year-old guy that hasn't made it yet. All right? Live your life. Stop trying to blame everyone else. That's one of the biggest problems. You're going to go $70,000 in debt. That way you can get a master's degree to make more money, when the problem isn't the fact you can't make money. The problem is the fact that you've been brainwashed to think that you got to work 80 hours a week just to survive the bare minimum. When really, if you start your own business, work for yourself, stop being a victim, stop playing the victim game and thinking everybody else is trying to hold you back, and focus on yourself, you could really make something of yourself, no matter your race, your sex, your background, whatever it is, your sexuality. You can make something out of yourself if you just put your mind to it and work hard enough. Not for a 9 to 5, but for yourself.
If your answer is to make more money and get a better job, and that's your only answer, it's probably not a great idea. If you're going to acquire skills that will actually lead to a better job, or you're going to get a credential that will lead, that you're guaranteed to pay you more. So like lots of public schools will pay teachers more if they get a master's in education, right? So if you know you're going to get that return, then it makes sense. So point one is to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Point two is, and this is, all students should do this, do your homework. So you should look at a site like the College Scorecard, which the federal government runs, or the research that's cited in the piece that I published, to see how much debt can you expect to graduate with? What kind of job can you graduate with? And if you're thinking about a particular master's program, call them and say, hey, what skills am I going to learn? If they just tell you like, oh, you'll get a great network and you'll learn, communication skills, walk away. Find out what actually you'll be able to do in a year or 2 years that you can't do now.
Got to take a cold, hard look at that master's degree.
That is trenchant analysis. Yeah. I really appreciate it. It is.
I'm telling you, man, it's not worth it. They be talking about, oh, we can do this, we can do that. Let's go get a master's degree. That way you can what? Study animal organs? That way you can what? What are you getting a master's degree for? People are going to school for stupid stuff that I've never heard of before. The thing is, it's so stupid that I can't even remember what they're called. That's why I'm making stuff up. But I've heard of degrees of college fields that I've never even heard a career of before. Like he said, 9,000 new college degrees, but there's not 9,000 new fields of work. So if you're going for any of those 9,000 new degrees, you're already messed up. Because tell me which one of those is a new job. We have the same jobs we've had for the last 100 years, if not less. Actually, we have way less. Any new job is probably going to be something that AI or a machine will do. The only new job is managing the machine, and then they're probably going to have machines manage the machines that manage the machines that manage the machines. They're going to have cheap machines that manage the expensive machines. They're going to have cheap AI that manages the expensive AI, that manages the cheap machines, that manages the expensive machines, that manages the cheap AI. So it's just a full-on circle head. You know what I'm saying? Like, the degree is worthless. Work for yourself. Find a way to make money. And I'm not saying don't get a 9 to 5. If you find a 9 to 5 that you don't truly hate, okay. But if you know you're the kind of person that can't work a job, stay at your job. Save some money up. Figure out how to cut expenses. Figure out how to escape that rat race. Get off that hamster wheel. If you don't escape while you're young, 20, 30, 40, yeah, good luck after 40. You're not escaping. You're done. And even if you do escape, you won't enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Remember, go ahead and subscribe. We're almost at 500. We're at 411. Go ahead and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? But remember, no matter what happens, as long as you're alive, life goes on.